So your current opinion of Jehovah's Witnesses, I imagine you don't sound like you're bitter at all. You don't sound like your life has been destroyed because you've seen both sides of the coin. Do you feel like your family that is in it, or do you feel like you yourself have taken anything away from it that you see as a valuable asset that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, so number one, right, my day job, live music production, I got to stand and talk in front of 1,000 white people, right? And I can do it, no problem. Because I've been giving talks since I was 8 in front of a bunch of white, so that's something that actually, I am so grateful for. Sometimes I think about, the abuse and the bullshit that I did go through, and I'm almost like, yeah, well, I'll take those scars for that one blessing that I have, because I see so many people struggle when they go on stage, and I love that. I think we're better at being educated, bro. We had to read. I would assume it's all of us. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just me, but they made us read so much. I feel like I'm very proficient at taking in information and then utilizing it for what I need to. I'm very grateful for that. And then at the same time, I hate them for all the bullshit that they did. There is no retribution for it, but a lot of it didn't really happen to me. I feel bad for, like I said, the poor classification of Jehovah's Witnesses. They had to wear the hand-me-downs, that had the black eyes, that I know their dads drank too much and beat their moms and shit, bro. That stuff is directly caused because they're forced into this thing that's insane. And they can't use a substance to get away from it. They can't do anything but pray and fucking be nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you about the public speaking for sure. I remember having to give oral reports in school and looking around the room and seeing kids trembling before they had to stand up in front of 15 kids in a classroom and thinking what the fuck are these guys so worried about? And doing it with complete ease and having my teachers be like, have you done public speaking before? And not wanting to out myself as a Jehovah's Witness and be like, no, I'm just a fucking natural. I don't know. I'm just gifted. I don't know where this comes from. But yes, it definitely empowered me with a certain confidence speaking in front of people. I don't think I'd be able to do I moved to New York to do stand-up, and still, in spite of being a Jehovah's Witness, standing in front of 100 people giving talks, talking about things that I did not believe in, still had fear and trepidation leading into stand-up. I hit the brakes for 4 years before I finally took the plunge. If I had never been a J-dub and given talks, I probably never would have had the courage to do it. I had to kind of remember that, dude, you've stood on stage in front of people before. You can fucking do this. So I definitely attribute confidence with public speaking to that. It's great that you feel like you are able to read and absorb information easily, because I feel like that aspect of things had the opposite effect on me. Because every time I would read one of these publications, my fucking eyes would glaze over, and I would just I would just immediately shut down, and I would have to reread the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And I feel like, unfortunately, that's the case for me today. Even when I'm reading things that are enjoyable, that I want to learn about, my retention of that information is fucking gone. And I have resisted reading anything as an adult because I have this association of I see a book, I'm going to be brainwashed. It doesn't matter if it's for recreational purposes or my own, educating myself about something I want to learn about or something I want to be entertained by. I see a book and I'm like, oh fuck, there's nothing good in there. That's gonna be a real obstacle for me. So I'm glad that you had the opposite reaction to this. I wish that was not the case for me, but it's brutal. Reading anything for me now as an adult is tough. I got to really be like, you can do this, man, and take the plunge. But I do feel like it's as a kid, you're surrounded by more adults. You have more interaction with adults than I think most kids do. And going door to door, I attribute being able to give somebody a firm handshake, being able to look people directly in the eye. As a kid, just being able to address adults in a more direct way. I feel like I was forced into a level of maturity much earlier than a lot of kids. Like I see a lot of my son's friends, like they, an adult addresses them, they're kind of staring at their shoes, very bashful, like not really able to engage with adults the way that I was. And just in terms of morality, honesty, there's definitely some attributes. Discipline, sticking to a very regimented routine. That's something that I don't think I would be able to do otherwise. So, it's not all sour grapes,
Yeah.
Mostly
Exactly.
for sure, but not all.
Yeah. I mean, it's a call. Let's not end it with the people not knowing. It's a fucking call.
Right.
For
Sounds
sure.
like we're trying to rope people in. Guys, it's pretty
we're just
great.
badasses. We just made a good thing out of shit.